Summary: The Almanack of Naval Ravikant, Eric Jorgenson. Book link. Click here. Here's a summary of the excerpt. The book contains Naval Ravikant's wisdom and advice on building wealth and happiness through his own words from Twitter, blog posts, and podcasts over the past decade. Naval is an icon in Silicon Valley, having founded multiple successful companies like Opinions and AngelList. He is also an angel investor who invested early in companies like Uber, Twitter, and Postmates. Naval shares his life philosophy of how to achieve wealth and happiness. He has proven the impact of his principles through his own successful and happy life. Naval continues to build and invest in companies while maintaining a balanced life. This book organizes the pieces of his wisdom to show readers how to achieve the same. Naval's life story as an introspective founder and capitalist provides valuable lessons. He is a first principles thinker who speaks his truth. His wisdom has changed how the book creator sees the world. The book creator has learned a lot from Naval and often refers to his work, recommending it to others. Conversations inspired the creation of this book so more people can learn from Naval's perspectives. This book collects Naval's wisdom shared through Twitter, blog posts, and podcasts over the past decade in his own words. It aims to introduce readers to Naval's ideas and make this valuable knowledge more accessible. The book creator offers this as a public service to prevent Naval's wisdom from being lost or buried. Does this summary accurately reflect the key highlights and main points around the book, its origin, purpose, and Naval's wisdom? Please let me know if you would like me to clarify or expand on any part of the summary. Naval Ravikant is an entrepreneur and angel investor. He grew up poor as an immigrant in Queens, New York. His early experiences taught him self-sufficiency and the importance of education. He studied economics and computer science at Dartmouth College. Today, he is the founder and chairman of AngelList and an investor in over 200 companies. Naval believes getting rich is a skill that can be learned. It's about understanding how wealth is created, not just working hard. He shares principles for building wealth in his popular tweetstorm How to Get Rich Without Getting Lucky. The key ideas are: seek wealth, not money or status. Wealth is assets that earn money while you sleep. Understand that ethical wealth creation is possible. Don't secretly despise wealth. Ignore people focused on status games. They try to gain status by attacking wealth creators. You must own equity in a business to gain financial freedom. You won't get rich renting out your time. Solve problems for society at scale. Give people what they want but don't yet know how to get. Play long-term games with long-term people in an industry you can impact. Use compound interest. Look for iterated games where returns build over time. Partner with high integrity, high energy, intelligent people. Don't partner with cynics and pessimists. Learn to sell and build. Combine them and you'll be unstoppable. Gain specific knowledge, accountability, and leverage. Specific knowledge is the most valuable. Embrace accountability and take business risks under your own name. Society will reward you. Use leverage from capital, people, code, and media. Permissionless leverage from code and media is most valuable. Build judgment through experience and learning foundational skills. Study fields like microeconomics, game theory, psychology, math, and computers. Reading, doing, and building are the fastest ways to learn. Minimize wasting time on things like doing coffee. Set an aspirational hourly rate to make the best use of your time. Ignore tasks that won't save you money or outsource them. Here's a summary of the key points. Cost less than your hourly rate, outsource it. If a task costs less than what you can charge per hour, it is more efficient to outsource it. Focus your time on high-value work. Work hard at the right things. Working hard is important, but focusing your effort on the right things, like who you work with and what you work on, is even more important. Become the best in the world at what you do. Continuously improve at your craft until you are the best. This may take redefining what you do and exploring adjacent areas. There are no get-rich-quick schemes. Building wealth is a long game. Anyone promising overnight success is likely trying to take advantage of you. Apply specific knowledge and leverage. Use your unique skills and talents, especially those that come naturally to you, and apply leverage through technology, media, or business models to generate wealth. Money facilitates wealth. Wealth facilitates freedom. Money is a means of exchange, while wealth, assets that generate money, is what provides financial freedom. But true freedom comes from purpose and meaning. Technology democratizes consumption but consolidates production. Technology makes things more accessible to consumers but also concentrates the best producers. To generate wealth, become the best in the world at what you do. Find and build your specific knowledge. Your specific knowledge comprises innate talents, life experiences, curiosities, and passions unique to you. Develop and apply this knowledge. The internet enables niche scaling. The internet makes it possible to reach and scale niche interests and skills. You can build a business around being uniquely yourself. Escape competition through authenticity, don't copy others. Express your unique skills, talents, and interests. When you compete by copying, you open yourself up to being outdone by those who are truly passionate and skilled. Stand out through authenticity. In summary, generate wealth by applying your specific knowledge, the skills and talents that are natural to you, with leverage and at scale. Build a business or productize service being uniquely yourself. Don't get distracted chasing money or copying others. Work hard at the right things and become the best in the world at what you do through continuous refinement and redefinition. Build something authentic to you that taps into your uniqueness. This makes you hard to compete with and builds loyalty. Continuous learning and adapting to change is key. The ability to quickly become an expert in new areas is more important than traditional education. Focus on fundamentals that transcend any particular profession. Play the long game and cultivate long-term relationships. Compounding interest applies to relationships and reputation, not just money. Trust and loyalty build over time. Most effort is wasted. Only a small fraction of what you do will really pay off. When you find that 1%, go all in. Exit the rest. Take on accountability and do things under your own name. This builds credibility and allows you to gain leverage and responsibility. The risks of failure are often not as bad as we think. Own equity in a business. This is the only path to true financial freedom and wealth. Renting out your time through a job will not get you there. Equity can provide passive income and optionality. Leverage comes from labor, capital, code, or media. To gain leverage, build credibility and get others to provide these things to you. There are many forms of compound interest beyond money. Relationships, reputation, knowledge, and trust all compound over time. Do high-integrity work. This builds credibility and people will forgive failures and setbacks. But take responsibility when things go wrong. Here are the main points. Without ownership of a business, intellectual property or equity, you are unlikely to become wealthy. You need to own equity, such as shares in a company, to benefit from the upside. Working for a salary alone will not make you rich. Follow your intellectual curiosity and passions, not what is currently popular or making money. Develop knowledge and skills that few others have. This makes you hard to replace and puts you in a position of leverage. There are three main forms of leverage: labor, money and products with no marginal cost of replication, such as media, books, movies, code. Code and media are the most powerful, democratic forms of leverage today. They are permissionless and scalable. This is where many new fortunes are made. Optimize for independence over pay. Having accountability for outputs rather than inputs gives you more leverage and control. With leverage, you can achieve huge impacts without as much time or effort. Leveraged work can outproduce non-leveraged work by a factor of thousands. Judgment becomes more important than effort or hours put in when you have leverage. Leverage allows you to multiply your efforts and earn non-linearly. Without leverage, your earnings are closely tied to the hours you put in. The key is finding a position of leverage where you have skills, knowledge or an ability that is in demand but cannot easily be replaced or replicated. This could be a product, service, process or technology that delivers something people want but currently struggle to access or build at scale. Build your brand and expertise, then move into opportunities with maximum leverage. New forms of leverage, like media and code, are permissionless. You do not need anyone's consent to build and deploy them. This makes them ideal tools for gaining independence and building wealth in today's world. Traditional forms of leverage like labor and capital are messier and require the cooperation and consent of others. Here's a summary. Forget measuring productivity by hours worked. Output and impact are more important. Some programmers, entrepreneurs, and knowledge workers are 100x or even 1,000x more productive than average, creating huge amounts of value. The key is having leverage, accountability, and specific knowledge. This allows you to gain control of your time and be paid for your judgment and output rather than hours worked. Examples of leveraged, high-impact jobs include software engineers who create hugely valuable products, top salespeople who can sell a lot with little effort, real estate developers who can profit hugely from a single deal, venture capitalists who can invest in startups that generate massive returns at the lowest level, are jobs like basic labor where you have little leverage, accountability, or specific knowledge. The pay is low. At the highest levels are jobs where you combine multiple areas of expertise, take on a lot of risk and accountability, build leverage through recruiting top talent and raising capital, and generate huge rewards. The key is avoiding ruin by not doing anything illegal or too risky, but otherwise taking optimistic bets that can generate big upsides. The ultimate goal is to get paid primarily for your judgment rather than for the hours you work. Build the right expertise, leverage, and accountability so that input and output become disconnected, and you can achieve a high degree of both impact and freedom. Key points: leverage and judgment are key to high compensation. Small differences in judgment and skill are magnified by leverage, enabling higher pay. Demonstrated judgment and a track record of being right is critical. People like Warren Buffett have massive leverage because of their proven judgment. Focus and prioritize. Don't get distracted by busy work and short-term thinking. Look for the big, long-term opportunities. Build up success through many small wins over time, not one big payout. With the internet, opportunities abound, so focus is key. Value your time highly and ruthlessly spend to save time at that rate. Never accept being valued less than you value yourself. Set an aspirational hourly rate for yourself and stick to it, outsourcing or eliminating anything that costs less than that rate. Even if it seems absurdly high, raise it. Don't secretly despise wealth or you won't achieve it. Have an optimistic and positive mindset. Jealousy and resentment of those with more wealth will hold you back. People will sense those negative feelings. Get out of the relative mindset. There are two big games in life: the money game, positive sum, and the status game, zero sum. Those attacking wealth creation are often just playing the status game, trying to gain status by putting others down. Avoid status games when you can. They promote harmful behavior. For younger people, spend more time on the big decisions that will shape your life for years: where to live, who to be with, and what work to do. These decisions deserve years of deliberation, not the little time usually given them. Say no to less important things and focus on these big problems. To surround yourself with successful people, figure out what you're good at and help others with it. Be generous and pay it forward. Over time, you will attract similar people. Do not focus on metrics or measure your progress. Be patient. On starting his first company, the author felt embarrassed into starting his own company after constantly telling others he would. He left his job, started a company in 1996, but it failed. He says it's better to fail as an entrepreneur than never try. On work and purpose, the author is tired of games and goals and just lives in the moment. He wants freedom from the hedonic treadmill. Retirement means doing work you enjoy, not for some future reward. You either save enough passive income, lower expenses, or do work you love. Making money was once a necessity but now an art. The author creates businesses for fun, not the money. He says he's better at it now with this mindset. History remembers those who create for art's sake, not for money or status. The author creates businesses as play. On money, money itself is not evil, but the lust for money is bad for you. It's a bottomless desire that brings no contentment. The more you make, the more you want. The solution is not upgrading your lifestyle with money and making money in big sums, not a trickle. Value freedom over money. Money should buy freedom. If it makes you less free by fueling desire, it's not good. You don't have to start a company to be successful. Identifying and joining fast-growing startups at the right time, with the skills to help them scale, can lead to success. Some of the most successful people had major breaks early in their careers, through promotion or starting a successful company. If not, it's hard to catch up. Working at smaller companies with more opportunity to advance is good. Here are the key points summarized. There are 4 kinds of luck. Blind luck, completely out of your control. Luck from persistence and hard work. Generate opportunities through motion and energy. Becoming sensitive to luck. Notice chances others miss because of your skill and expertise. Building a unique character that attracts luck. Refine what you do until you're the best, and luck will find you. To increase your luck, hope for the best but also hustle. Prepare your mind, and become excellent at what you do. Have a long-term mindset. In the long run, successful people enrich each other. In the short term, people act selfishly. Building business relationships prematurely is a waste of time. Focus on your craft, and the right people will find you. Pay attention to people's actions, not their words. Dishonest people often talk a lot about how honest they are. Distance yourself from people with poor values, even if they're successful. Their moral failings will damage them in the end. Great, dedicated people have great outcomes, even if it takes time. Success isn't immediate, so be patient. Age doesn't determine your potential. History was built by young people, and you learn by doing, not by waiting. Life is hard, but also rewarding. Your struggles and sacrifices define you, not what you're given. Create your own meaning. Money solves external problems but won't necessarily make you happy. The pursuit of wealth often requires qualities like anxiety, stress, and competitiveness, which are hard to turn off. You have trained yourself to be an anxious and unhappy person. To be happy, you have to unlearn this. One way to find inner peace in the past was to renounce worldly pleasures and become a monk. Today, you can save money, live below your means, and buy yourself time and freedom to pursue happiness. The key to making people happy is giving them what they want, like wealth, health, and happiness. There is no shortcut to becoming wise or developing good judgment. You have to put in the work. But judgment, knowing the long-term consequences of your actions, is more important than how hard you work. Clear thinkers who understand fundamentals are smarter than those who memorize complicated concepts they don't fully understand. The smartest people can explain complex ideas simply to make good decisions and see reality clearly. Minimize your ego, desires, and preconceptions about how things should be. Suffering occurs when you can no longer deny the truth. Leave empty space in your life so you have time to think and make good judgments. Constant busyness prevents this. Very intelligent people think for themselves instead of mimicking others or following conventional wisdom. Optimistic contrarians are rare. Our egos and identities are constructed early in life and cause us to interpret the world in a way that confirms them. We must periodically re-examine our habits and beliefs to shed ones that no longer serve us. Avoid rigidly identifying with labels or groups. If all your beliefs align with a label, question them. Non-identifying allows you to see the truth more clearly. We tend to reject ideas that threaten our own identity and social group. But the more they are rejected, the more likely they contain truth. Here's a summary. Acceptance and radical acceptance of reality are important. They can help you adapt to change and overcome ego-based biases. Personal redesign and adaptation to change are necessary. Nothing is permanent. Learn decision-making skills. Classical virtues and mental models can help optimize long-term thinking. Self-serving conclusions should be questioned. Unconditioning previous biases and heuristics can improve decision-making. Discard memory and identity. Focus on the problem, not biases. Radical honesty means congruence between thoughts and speech. It leads to freedom and connection with reality. Don't rely on likes/dislikes. Focus on what is real. Praise specifically and criticize generally. This helps avoid ego conflicts. Charisma combines confidence and love. Honesty can be delivered positively. Good decision-making is highly leveraged and rewarded. Collect mental models from evolution, game theory, Munger, Taleb, and Franklin. Evolution explains much of human behavior and society. Information theory and complexity also have explanatory power. Focus on eliminating bad options rather than picking winners. We have limited predictive ability. Complexity theory shows the limits of knowledge. Microeconomics and game theory are fundamental to business and society. Understand supply and demand, labor versus capital, and game theory. The principal-agent problem is crucial. Closely tie compensation to value created. We're attracted to principles but told to rely on agents. Compound interest rules. Basic math, probability, and statistics are underrated but essential. Calculus principles matter more than computations. Black swans represent extreme, hard-to-predict events. Taleb has advanced thinking on tail probabilities. Falsifiability is the most important principle but least understood. Macroeconomics does not make falsifiable predictions and so is not scientifically valid. Science requires predictive power and falsifiability. If you can't decide on a difficult choice, the answer is no. Human thinking is not built for the number of choices in modern society. Choices lock you in for a long time. Only say yes if very certain. When faced with two equal choices, choose the more difficult/painful one in the short term. This has long-term gain. Your brain avoids short-term pain, but you need to overcome this. Short-term pain, long-term gain is key to progress. The best way to build mental models is to read a lot, especially science, math and philosophy. Even reading 1 hour a day can put you at the top of success in 7 years. Learn to love reading. Read what interests you. Reread great books. Reading is not a race. Read great books slowly. Read for enjoyment, not for a goal. Identify books that speak to you. Don't read a lot of books, but find a few great ones to form your foundation. Reading an hour a day puts you in the top 0.00001%. Making reading a habit is key. Read what excites you. Have a book in hand and you won't feel like wasting time. Different people learn differently. Twitter can distill insights. Pointing out exceptions implies the other person isn't smart. Start at the beginning of a book. But skim and speed read to grab your attention. Drop a book quickly if not interesting. Don't delay gratification with so many books available. Number of books completed doesn't matter. Focus on new, predictive concepts. Most books have one key point. Once you get it, you can put the book down. Many bestsellers have little substance. Don't read books written just for money. Explain what you learn to others. Teaching reinforces your own learning. Liking to read versus not is more important than education level. To become an independent thinker, read math, science and philosophy. Ignore current events and tribalism. Value truth over social approval. Study logic and math to overcome fear of any book. No book should scare you. Read difficult books, then reread. Happiness is learned and personal. It means different things to different people. Definitions of happiness evolve over time based on life experiences. Today, happiness can be defined as a default state when nothing feels missing and the mind is quiet. It arises when desires and attachments are limited. Happiness is not about positive or negative thoughts. It's about being present and accepting the current state of things. Trying to latch onto or create permanence from temporary states of happiness causes it to drop away. In the past, happiness wasn't a valued or discussed topic. But cultivating happiness through various techniques has become a high priority. Money contributes little to happiness. Most happiness comes from learning that one's own happiness is most important. Happiness seems simple but has deep, personal answers like questions about life and death. The answers that work for one person won't work for another. People often mistakenly believe happiness comes from positive thoughts and actions alone. But positive thoughts imply negative thoughts, and happiness arises when fewer desires lead to an absence of suffering. Key ideas: happiness is a skill that can be learned. It is a personal journey, not a destination. The mind's tendency to grasp at fleeting moments of happiness causes it to drop away. Accepting life as it is and limiting desires allow happiness to emerge as a default state. Positive thinking alone does not create happiness, it implies the negative. Happiness comes from learning to value one's own peace of mind. Here is a summary in 4 sentences. Accept the present moment as it is. Desire and attachment to outcomes lead to unhappiness. Find peace by not judging experiences as good or bad. Happiness comes from within, not from external circumstances. The author is careful about their desires and recognizes desires as the source of suffering. Having too many desires or desires that are not perfectly aligned with one's values can lead to unhappiness. Success does not necessarily lead to happiness. Happiness comes from being satisfied with what you have, while success often comes from dissatisfaction or wanting more. One has to choose between the two. As one ages, the trifecta of health, time, and money becomes increasingly difficult to achieve simultaneously. Often, people do not realize they have enough of one until they have lost the others. The author considers people who are able to step out of societal games and expectations as most successful. The happiest and most peaceful people do not need validation or rewards from others. Expectations from society and other people are the enemy of peace of mind. One should eliminate shoulds and notions of what one is supposed to do to find more peace. Life's challenges are often self-created. Jealousy, envy, and other negative social emotions are poisonous and unhelpful. One should focus on one's own journey. Happiness and peace are skills that can be developed through deliberate practice and training, just like any other skill. Surrounding oneself with happy and peaceful people can help one learn. It involves trial and error to find what works for each individual. Meditation, yoga, and other solo practices can be difficult to sustain because they have little external or social value. However, they work to develop the internal skills required for happiness. One must change one's mindset to value internal rewards. That's a high-level summary of the key ideas around happiness, success, desire, and skill development discussed in the conversation. Please let me know if you would like me to clarify or expand on any part of the summary. Here's a summary. To build the skill of happiness, develop good habits like limiting alcohol and sugar intake, limiting social media use, exercising, and surrounding yourself with positive people. Choose your friends wisely. Happiness is a choice and skill that requires work and practice. Some tips for increasing happiness: practice meditation and being present, look for the positive side of things, get sunlight, smile, realize most desires are unimportant for happiness, limit caffeine, exercise daily, don't judge others. Tell your friends you're working on being happier. Minimize use of your phone, calendar and alarm clock. Have fewer secrets. Do things out of interest rather than obligation. Stay optimistic despite negative news. Engage in positive sum activities. Increase serotonin naturally through sunlight, exercise, positivity, and tryptophan. To change habits, pick one thing to focus on, develop a desire for change, visualize success, make a sustainable plan, identify your needs and triggers, tell friends, track your progress, adopt a new self-image, and make the new habit part of your identity. The path is: know, understand, explain, feel, become. Find happiness through acceptance. You always have three choices: change, accept, or leave. Acceptance means being okay with whatever outcome. Balanced, seeing the bigger picture. Acceptance is hard, but you can look at past difficulties and how you grew from them, and look for positives in current annoyances or setbacks. Acceptance leads to adaptation. Keep working at acceptance through practice and habit. Here's a summary of the key points. Learn to accept things you can't change by acknowledging your mortality. Your life is brief and fleeting in the grand scheme of things, so focus on enjoying the present moment. Take responsibility for your own well-being. Don't rely on doctors, teachers, mentors, or gurus to make you healthy, smart, wealthy, or happy. You have to save yourself. Be authentic to yourself. Don't try to emulate others or meet unrealistic societal expectations. Focus on developing self-knowledge and playing to your unique strengths. You'll never be better at being someone else than they are. Make your health and well-being your top priority. Take care of your physical, mental, and spiritual health before all else. Many aspects of modern life steer us away from living in a way that is natural and evolutionarily compatible for humans. There are many opinions on diet, but in general, avoid consuming high amounts of sugar and fat together. Fat drives satiety while sugar drives hunger, and the hunger effect tends to dominate. For appetite control, focus more on eating quality nutritious foods rather than restricting portions. Intermittent fasting can also be easier than constant portion control for some. Wonder Bread and similar products can stay soft for so long due to the highly processed nature of the ingredients and various additives. If even bacteria won't readily consume a food, that can be a sign it may not be optimally nutritious or digestible for humans either. In general, the more a food resembles its natural form, the healthier it is likely to be. The key message seems to be that we should try to live in a way that is natural and aligned with human evolutionary needs. Focus on self-care, be authentic, eat real nutritious foods, limit excess sugar and fat, stay active and connected with others. By acknowledging life's impermanence, we can also cultivate more gratitude, meaning and peace. The author recommends ditching extreme or fad diets and focusing on whole, unprocessed foods that humans have been eating for thousands of years. Subtract before adding when it comes to nutrition and medicine. Exercise daily, even if just for a short time. Make it a habit and priority. The author finds that exercising in the morning sets the tone for the day. Flexibility and mobility are keys to staying young. Even just 1 month of consistent yoga can provide benefits. Meditation is like fasting for the mind. It helps gain awareness and control of thoughts and the autonomic nervous system. The author practices a form of open awareness meditation where judgments are suspended. This helps overcome fear and anxiety. Cold exposure, like cold showers, can activate the body's immune system and tolerance for discomfort. With practice, the initial shock lessens, and the benefits intensify. An hour of unstructured, effortless meditation daily can help process emotions and quiet the mind. Letting thoughts come and go without judgment is key. In the end, make hard choices for long-term benefits and ease. Take care of health and relationships, save money, and avoid excess distraction and stimulation. You lost your sense of inner happiness and wonder as you accumulated psychological particles, unresolved pain, fears, desires, and errors over your life. Meditation helps remove these barnacles by forcing you to observe your thoughts and resolve deep-seated issues. After consistent practice, you can achieve inbox zero and empty, peaceful mind. You can control how you interpret and respond to situations. Many people use external means like drugs, thrill-seeking, or chasing orgasms to alter their mental state. But meditation increases your awareness and ability to observe your thoughts, allowing you to regain control of your reactions. The narrator tries to run his brain in debug mode, observing his thoughts and questioning why his mind runs off into fantasies or solves unimportant problems. This helps him minimize wasted mental energy and stay focused on the present. Your brain has layers, an OS of awareness and peace, and an egoic monkey mind that worries and makes you anxious. Staying in awareness mode and only activating the monkey mind when needed leads to happiness and effectiveness. You are more than just your mind, habits, and preferences. These are conditioned by your environment and experiences. By increasing your awareness, you can reconfigure your mind to be less reactive and more in your control. Various activities like hiking, journaling, praying, and showering can be forms of meditation when done with awareness and for their own sake. The ability to change yourself is the greatest superpower. Looking back at your past selves and giving advice is a way to gain perspective on your mistakes and path to recovery. The summary touches on the key ideas around using meditation and awareness to resolve past issues, control your mental state, minimize unhealthy mind activity, and ultimately gain more agency over your own mind and life path. Let me know if you would like me to clarify or expand on any part of the summary. Based on the quotes, in 2009 it seems you felt impatient, emotional and angry at times. You started a company that did well financially but you struggled emotionally, suing some people involved in a fit of anger. Looking back, you wish you had approached the situation with less emotion and more patience. You learn that habits shape who we are, and after starting an exercise habit, you realize the power of habits to transform you. You believe real change happens when you fully commit to something, not when you just say you'll try. You advise being impatient with actions but patient with results. You aim to set up systems where you're statistically likely to succeed rather than chase specific goals. You view science and math as a pursuit of truth. You stay focused on basics rather than advancing to more complex areas. You read for enjoyment and education, not for social approval. You think reading only mainstream, popular books leads to mainstream, popular thinking. The most successful people start as losers who don't fit in, so they forge their own path. You believe motivation depends on finding what interests you. Success is built through effort and struggle over time, not overnight. The main messages seem to be, develop good habits, commit fully to change, be impatient yet patient, seek truth and individual thinking, start as an outcast, find your motivation, and put in the effort to achieve success gradually. Here are 2 key principles I would summarize for kids. Principle 1. Develop a love of reading and constant learning. Read everything you can, books, articles, comics, whatever interests you. Reading and continual learning will expand your mind, expose you to new ideas, and help guide you to discover and pursue your passions. Mathematical, statistical, and persuasive skills are also useful for navigating the world. Principle 2. Focus on internal freedom and choose to free yourself. Question expectations and do not feel obligated to meet the expectations of others. Value your time and do not waste it trying to please people or seek their approval. Anger only hurts you, so work to free yourself from anger and reactionary behavior. Controlling your thoughts and staying present can help achieve an internal sense of freedom and peace. Choosing a meaningful and purposeful life path is a personal journey of lifelong self-discovery. Some perspectives to consider: there may be no single objective meaning or purpose to life. You determine your own meaning and purpose. Life has no meaning and ultimately ends for all of us. However, you can still create meaning while you're alive by pursuing self-actualization, experiences, relationships, passions, and contributions that matter to you. A more nuanced view is that we are all connected in an impermanent universe where matter and energy are constantly changing form. Our lives have meaning through our relationships and interdependence with all beings. Finding purpose involves transcending ego, accepting impermanence, and reducing suffering for all sentient life. The truths that really matter are often heretical and can only be discovered through deep reflection and wisdom, not prescribed by others. Keep questioning and stay curious on your journey. Here's a summary: there may be meaning to life, but it's not very satisfying. Life involves locally reversing entropy through action and complexity, which accelerates the overall entropy and heat death of the universe. This suggests we're all heading to a state of indistinguishability and oneness. Core values include honesty, long-term thinking, pure relationships, lack of anger, and family. Finding aligning values and relationships is key. Naval's philosophy is rational Buddhism: accept what can be verified and reconciled with science, reject fanciful beliefs. Key principles are evolution, the tenets of Buddhism regarding internal states, and living in the present moment. Wisdom is understanding the long-term consequences of actions. The present moment is all we have. The past is gone and the future is unpredictable. We're constantly dying and being reborn. Inspiration is perishable. Act now. Technology enables more people to create, build, and discover. Alien civilizations are likely more advanced and may see us as cute. Naval reads out of curiosity, not self-improvement. Recommended books include The Beginning of Infinity by David Deutsch, made Naval smarter. Sapiens by Yuval Noah Harari, offers a framework for viewing human history and fellow humans. Naval's favorite book of the last decade. The Rational Optimist by Matt Ridley, most enlightening book in years. Ridley is an optimistic, forward thinker and one of Naval's favorite authors. Genome, The Red Queen, The Origins of Virtue, The Evolution of Everything by Matt Ridley. Skin in the Game by Nassim Taleb. Here is a summary of the recommendations. The Bed of Procrustes, Philosophical and Practical Aphorisms by Nassim Taleb. Recommendation: this is a collection of ancient wisdom and mental models. The author has an attitude, but the book has many great ideas. 6 Easy Pieces, Essentials of Physics explained by its most brilliant teacher by Richard Feynman. Recommendation: a great introduction to physics for all ages. Feynman explains concepts simply and with insight. Thing Explainer, Complicated Stuff in Simple Words by Randall Munroe. Recommendation: explains complicated concepts using only the 1,000 most common words. Fun and educational. Thinking Physics, Understandable Practical Reality by Lewis Carroll Epstein. Recommendation: physics puzzles that can be understood by all ages. Provides fundamental insights into physics through logical reasoning. The Lessons of History by Will and Ariel Durant. Recommendation: summarizes major themes in history in a concise yet insightful way. The Sovereign Individual, Mastering the Transition to the Information Age by James Dale Davidson and Lord William Rees-Mogg. Recommendation: an influential book on navigating the information age. Poor Charlie's Almanack, The Wit and Wisdom of Charles T. Munger by Charlie Munger. Recommendation: life and business advice from Warren Buffett's partner, Charlie Munger. Masquerades as a business book but really about living a successful and virtuous life. Reality is Not What It Seems, The Journey to Quantum Gravity by Carlo Rovelli. Recommendation: combines physics, poetry, philosophy and history in an accessible way. One of the best books read in the past year. 7 Brief Lessons on Physics by Carlo Rovelli. Recommendation: a great short introduction to physics. Have read it multiple times. For game theory, recommended books are The Complete Strategist, Being a Primer on the Theory of Games of Strategy by J.D. Williams, The Evolution of Cooperation by Robert Axelrod, Philosophy and Spirituality books, Everything by Jed McKenna, Raw, Uncompromising Truth About Life and Spirituality. Everything by Kapil Gupta, Insightful Truths and a Guide to Achieving Inner Bliss and Freedom. The Book of Life by Jiddu Krishnamurti, excerpts from Krishnamurti's speeches and writings. One of the most influential philosophers. Focused on self-observation and truth. Total Freedom by Jiddu Krishnamurti, for more advanced readers. A Rationalist's Guide to the Human Mind. Siddhartha by Hermann Hesse, a classic introduction to philosophy and spirituality. The Book of Secrets by Osho, 112 different meditation techniques from an Indian mystic. Meditations by Marcus Aurelius, the personal diary of a Roman emperor grappling with internal struggles and trying to become a better person. Life-changing. Love Yourself Like Your Life Depends on It by Kamal Ravikant, a succinct book on self-love and acceptance. The Tao of Seneca by Seneca, practical Stoic philosophy from Roman writer Seneca. How to Change Your Mind by Michael Pollan, an important book discussing how psychedelics can accelerate self-observation and spiritual progress. But not recommending drugs. Striking Thoughts by Bruce Lee, Wisdom and Philosophy from martial artist Bruce Lee. The Prophet by Khalil Gibran, poetic religious philosophy on life's deepest questions for people of all faiths or no faith. Reads like other spiritual texts such as the Bhagavad Gita. Science Fiction, Ficciones by Jorge Luis Borges, amazing short stories containing philosophy and sci-fi. Stories of Your Life and Others by Ted Chiang, brilliant science fiction short stories, including one adapted into the movie Arrival. Snow Crash by Neil Stephenson, a unique science fiction novel in a league of its own. Amazing and entertaining. Here is a summary of the requested information from Naval Ravikant. Age: Naval was born in 1974, so he is currently in his mid-40s. Books: Naval mentions many books he is currently rereading or has recently read, including The Last Question by Isaac Asimov, Tools of Titans by Tim Ferriss, Persuasion by Robert Cialdini, The Story of Philosophy by Will Durant, Parenting Books, Works by Ralph Waldo Emerson, Lord Chesterfield, and Leo Tolstoy, The Three-Body Problem by Tsushine Luhman's Search for Meaning by Viktor Frankl. Naval says he has always spent money on books, viewing them as investments rather than expenses. He reads a wide range, including embarrassing or reprehensible books that challenge his thinking. Blogs and Twitter accounts. Naval recommends many blogs, Twitter accounts, and other resources, including Melting Asphalt, Farnham Street blog, Stratechery blog, Idle Words blog. Specific recommended posts on writing, habits, quantum physics, leadership, and more. Twitter accounts like @AmusedChimp, @Meyer, @Taleb, and Art Devaney, the TV show and comic Rick and Morty. Naval's writing. Naval shares excerpts from writings like Life Formulas I, from 2008, Naval's Rules, from 2016, and the essay You and Your Research by Richard Hemming. Naval's own writing covers topics like habits for health, wealth, happiness, accountability, leverage, investing, reading, thinking, and more. Additional resources, navalmanack.com. Naval's site with additional content cut from this book, Naval podcast and Twitter account, popular interviews and podcast episodes from Naval, a collection of excerpts from this book curated by Riyadh Wise, more illustrations from Jack Butcher, the illustrator of this book. Here's a summary. Naval Ravikant is the CEO and co-founder of AngelList, an online platform for startups and angel investors. Ravikant is grateful to many people who helped and supported him in creating AngelList, including Jack Butcher, who created the illustrations for AngelList, his parents, who built the foundation for his success and encouraged him, Janine Zidil, who provided moral support and advice, Kathleen Martin, the line editor, Kuzal Kularat, an early supporter and advisor, Max Olson, Emily Holdman, and Taylor Pearson, who provided advice, early readers who provided feedback, edits and advice on the book, including Andrew Farah, Tristan Homsey, Daniel Doyen, Jesse Jacobs, Sean O'Connor, Adam Waxman, Kaylin Perry, Chris Quintero, George Mack, Brent Besher, Shane Parrish, Taylor Pearson, Ben Crane, Candace Wu, Shane Mack, Jesse Powers, Trevor McKendrick, David Perel, Natala Constantine, Ben Jackson, Noah Madden, Chris Gillett, Megan Dardell, and Zach Anderson Peckett. Authors and creators who inspired Ravikant, including Poor Charlie's Almanack, 0 to 1, Seeking Wisdom, Berkshire Hathaway Letters to Shareholders, and Principles. The team at Scribe, including Zach O'Brant and Hal Clifford Tucker Max, for creating Scribe and supporting the book. The team at Zarly, Ravikant's company, for their patience and support. Friends and strangers online who encouraged Ravikant throughout the process of creating the book. The summary outlines the key people Ravikant expressed gratitude for in helping him achieve his goals. Here is a summary of the provided sources. Naval Ravikant is the co-founder of AngelList, a platform that connects startups and investors. He has been an influential figure in Silicon Valley and the cryptocurrency world. Ravikant grew up in New York and worked as a software engineer at Microsoft. He ran a tech incubator called Venture Hacks with his co-founder Babak Nivi before starting AngelList in 2010. AngelList was initially a platform to connect angel investors with startups looking to raise money. It has since expanded into venture capital, job listings, startup perks, and cryptocurrency token sales. The company makes money by taking a commission on funds raised through the site. Ravikant is an influential thinker in the cryptocurrency and blockchain space. He's an early investor in major crypto companies and projects. He believes cryptocurrencies represent a new open financial system independent of governments and banks. Ravikant is known for his life advice and philosophies on success, wealth, productivity, and happiness. He shares his thoughts through blog posts, interviews, and on Twitter. Major themes include focusing on hard work, luck, relationships, health, and choosing projects that scale. In recent years, Ravikant has continued to expand AngelList's offerings and invest in cryptocurrency projects. He remains an influential voice in Silicon Valley and for entrepreneurs around the world. That covers the key highlights from the provided sources on Naval Ravikant and AngelList. Let me know if you would like me to elaborate on any part of the summary. Book link, click here.